Today's rally was about a very important issue here in Harrisburg, and that's that we need to ensure that taxpayer resources are not being used for the political and campaign purposes of public sector unions. Right now, currently under the law, the public sector unions are allowed to use taxpayer resources to benefit their efforts to fight against policies that the taxpayers need and want. So we have currently situations in the state where we've seen in the recent past where currently there's people in jail for having used taxpayer resources for campaign purposes. We need to bring this practice that's legal for the public sector unions to an end. And House Bill 1507 is the legislation that we are rallying about today. The legislation would require that the unions get their own money from their members. I mean, it just makes sense. A private political organization should get their members' dues from them individually and not have the government act as their bag man to collect the money and deliver it to the union bosses. So this legislation that we've introduced would put a stop to public sector unions that have been benefiting from taxpayer resources that are being utilized to benefit their political activities and their campaign activities. It was a great crowd that came in from around the state, came in on various buses, as the director for the state, Jennifer Stefano, noted. They paid to get here. They weren't paid to come here. They actually paid for their bus trip to get here today. So we had a great crowd in the rotunda, up above the rotunda. We had a great lineup of speakers. Michelle Malkin came in to talk about this important issue that's important here in Pennsylvania, and the issue is important around the country. Public sector unions are working to stop changes that we need in policy that are related to welfare expansion. We need to reduce welfare spending. They're fighting that. We need to reform pensions. They're fighting that. We need to sell the liquor stores in Pennsylvania. They're fighting that. Issue after issue, the public sector unions are using taxpayer resources to benefit their advocacy against policies that the taxpayers need and want. So today's rally, this legislation that we'll be holding a hearing on tomorrow, is very important for the people of Pennsylvania in advancing this issue that will stop unions from benefiting from taxpayer resources for their own political purposes.